This is the story of how one small island with a breathtaking coastal landscape is transforming its image from a sleepy backwater into a dynamic entrepreneurial hub. As it attracts more like-minded people in search of the perfect work-life balance, it's fast becoming the UK's most desirable location to live, work and play. This is a secret story of the island. It's early summer, and the first of nearly 2.5 million visitors start to arrive onto the Isle of Wight. The clean beaches, beautiful countryside, attractions and restaurants make it a fantastic holiday destination, but also a wonderful place to live and work. This film is a snapshot of the working life of the Isle of Wight, seen through the lens of 10 different companies, all equally passionate about the island.
The Isle of Wight is a little gem in the sea.
It's a jewel in the crown.
It's known as a sort of holiday destination, but actually it is much more than that.
It's naturally a beautiful place.
There's something magical about it.
This is the place entrepreneurs come to.
The island punches way above its weight.
Filmed over the last 2 years, it's an extraordinary journey of discovery. We encounter the history, culture and sport that have helped put this small island on the map. And at its beating heart, we discover a thriving community of entrepreneurial businesses and organisations who call this beautiful landscape their home.
People's perception of the island has always been that it's a sleepy backwater, that it's a place to retire and not much happens. The Isle of Wight's a long way from that, and it has been for quite a few years. It's now the centre of innovation, technology, manufacturing. It has a real entrepreneurial spirit, and it's a great place to do business.
The Isle of Wight is located just off the south coast of England. At 147 square miles, with a resident population of 140,000, the island is compact. It's separated from the mainland by a stretch of water known as the Solent. The only way on or off the island is by sea, and so the 3 ferry operators provide an essential lifeline for island businesses, residents and visiting tourists. Across the water in Southampton, the Red Funnel ferry terminal is filled to capacity, a staff deal with the thousands of visitors descending on the island for one of the world's most famous music events, the Isle of Wight Festival.
Here we are in Southampton at the Red Funnel Terminal for what is the biggest weekend of our year. This is an amazing day for us here. The festival goers are really easy to spot. You can see them coming a mile off. They've got their backpacks, they've got their wellies, they've got their loud, exciting clothing on.
The festival goers make up just a small part of the nearly 3 million passengers that Red Funnel carries to the Isle of Wight every year, who in turn help to bolster an incredible £3 billion economy. And one of the reasons for its amazing success is accessibility. Both Southampton and Portsmouth are located right in the middle of England's south coast, with excellent road and rail connections. You can be on the island just 2 hours after leaving London Waterloo. No surprise then that so many make the journey. For Red Funnel boss Fran Collins, there's a huge amount of pride in the role the company plays in the island's success.
As one of the ferry operators to the island, I think we can never underestimate just how important we actually are to the island. We genuinely are the lifeline service, so everything that goes to the island comes on a ferry. So it's absolutely incumbent on us all as operators to know just how important we are to the very fabric and existence of the island. That brings a huge responsibility, knowing that the decisions we make will affect the island's business, the island's economy and the very life of people on the island.
Alongside accessibility, there's also another reason for the island's popularity, and it dates back to the time of Queen Victoria.
Back in the 1830s, it was a very different world. The island was much more insular, and in 1837, it all changed a bit when Queen Victoria came to the throne. She was 18. She came down on several occasions and went to the island, and she fell in love with it. Having got married to Prince Albert, she then decided to build a house on the island, and as we all know, that house was Osborne House. People saw that Queen Victoria was coming down to the island to take a holiday, to come frequently, and other people started mimicking that. I think we can really thank Queen Victoria for really putting the island on the map. She created, probably unintendedly, domestic tourism, an industry on the island that survives to this day, and from our side, she created an opportunity for a business, Red Funnel, to grow and thrive.
With Queen Victoria's patronage, the Isle of Wight became increasingly fashionable. And thanks to the growing demand, the Cowes Southampton ferry service was born.
Red Funnel started in 1820, and since then we've been a really interesting company. When we look back at the archives, we can see we've operated everything from hydrofoils, steamships. We've had the first generation of motor vessels coming through. We had times when we had to crane vehicles on and off our ships. But throughout all of that, the absolute core reason for the business's existence has been to support the island.
And that support even extends to building their latest high-speed catamaran, Redjet 7, right here on the Isle of Wight. Today, Red Funnel operates a fleet of 7 ferries between the island and the mainland, clocking up more than 30,000 sailings across the Solent every year. As the island's oldest ferry company, Red Funnel can proudly look back on more than 200 years of service. But as importantly, it can now also look forward to a cutting-edge future.
Well, it's a really exciting time for Red Funnel and for the island. We are facing a world now where we need to decarbonise, we need to do the right thing by our environments. We've done a lot already, but we are now in a position where we can announce that we have a partnership with a company called Artemis Technologies Limited. They have developed e-foiling technology, so in a way it's a hark back to our early days with foiling vessels. These are very different, but they will be fully electric, so we take the first vessel at the end of 2025. We'd be delighted to be the first fully electric high-speed passenger option on the Solent. To coin the phrase, really, I think the future is really bright for the Isle of Wight, and the amazing thing with it is we've got all of the technology coming through. We've got the high-speed internet, we've got the connectivity, but we have this absolute pride as an island in our history and our heritage. 3, 2, 1. So that heart and soul of the island will become quicker, more efficient, but the personality will never change. Right, I have to go. I'm off to go and get ready for festival.
The UK festival season gets underway on the Isle of Wight as 50,000 fans descend on Seaclose Park to enjoy 4 days of musical revelry. The Isle of Wight Festival's promoter is John Giddings.
And the Isle of Wight Festival is iconic. The artists love coming here because it's like going on holidays. At the start of the festival season, everybody's in a good mood. They can only get here on a boat or a helicopter. The sun's always shining. What not to like?
And this year, the festival celebrates its 25th edition. Over its colourful history, the event has hosted a who's who of rock legends. But the year it's most famous for is 1970.
I came here in 1970 and saw 600,000 people watching Jimi Hendrix and the Doors, and I fell in love with it.
Also among that number was Brian Hinton.
1970, I arrived on a very packed ferry, standing upright, and we all get into ancient old buses and they take us to this amazing kaleidoscope of colour. I mean, you had the blue skies, you had the green of the wonderful rural setting. Everyone was there was dressed up in some hippie-like way. You had this music going constantly day and night. It was amazing. It was like going from black and white into full Technicolor.
It was the Woodstock of Europe. It was a magical moment and it was the counterculture.
The 1970 Isle of Wight Festival has gone into the history books as one of the biggest rock concerts of all time. However, the island was ill-equipped to host an event on this huge scale, and it was shut down. It wasn't until John Giddings revived the festival in 2002 that it has since gone on to become the global music event that we know today, drawing huge crowds and a global TV audience.
We sell the TV show to every country in the world. It's got a name. You know, it was the Woodstock of Europe, and the Isle of Wight Festival is iconic. What we've done is create a world-class event which goes everywhere. It's just brilliant. We're advertising the island worldwide, and we bring £10 million to the local economy every summer. It's not bad.
Cheers.
As the music plays on into the night, for others the next working day has already begun. It's 5 in the morning, and the first ferry of the day brings a fleet of freight lorries onto the Isle of Wight. Amongst them, the thousands of parcels and deliveries that keep the island running.
It's a lovely sunny morning and we're here at Isle of Wight Distribution in Merston. This is our parcel depot. The first lorries have arrived and we're looking forward to another busy day.
Offering a next day delivery service on the island requires a well-oiled machine.
The capacity of Isle of Wight Distribution is around 6,000 deliveries per day, and it requires a lot of resource to sort, tip and deliver. Today's slightly quieter, we're probably going to have about 4,000 deliveries. All of the routes are now allocated into the driver's scanners, and once they arrive they'll be able to see what they're delivering and allocate it to their routes. I feel we're an essential part of the island running smoothly. Deliveries going to the hospitals, to engineering companies, to large production companies, factories. We don't really know what's in every single parcel, but we know that it's important and we treat everyone the same.
Once the sorting is done and the van's loaded, it's time to hit the road.
My name's Phil Best and I'm a driver for Isle of Wight Distribution. I've worked with the company for about 12 years now. I love it, to be honest. You're outside most of the time, you're your own boss on the road, you're meeting people all day long. I see the same people sometimes every day, so you build up a rapport, and it's fast-paced, but I like that. We deliver right the way around the island. Everybody's got their own route. Today, I'm off to the West Wight. So we're now going along the military road, which stretches from Chale all the way through to Freshwater Bay. It's amazing views. It's beautiful, especially on a day like this. Sometimes when you're travelling up this road, you'll see the paragliders coming over the cliff. And being right on the coast here, of course, it's great for surfing. This particular stretch of water at Compton is known for it. We're coming up to our first delivery in Yarmouth. This is a residential address. Morning, parcel for you. Lovely, thank you. Yarmouth, it's a very pretty town. You've got the boats all moored there. Very popular, so you can just come in off the ferry and you're straight into the town. There's so much variety around the island. You've got the beaches, the walks, we've got castles, stately homes. We have more sunshine probably than most places in the UK. So you can understand why the island is becoming more popular. It's just generally more relaxed. It's the work-life balance that people want now, which is more important to them in their families. So we're just coming into the village of Newtown. It's a beautiful little village, lovely picturesque cottages, the old capital of the Isle of Wight, fantastic scenery. Half of the island is an area of outstanding natural beauty, and it's now become a UNESCO biosphere, which is all about people working together with the environment. We're now heading to a small business, a pub.
Isle of Wight Distribution's next day service has helped hugely to enhance the appeal of the island. It's great for businesses and residents too.
When people come here, they want the benefits of being on the island, but the convenience of being on the mainland. And that's where we step in.
The best of both worlds.
This is the final drop of the day. We're going down to Vestas. They do wind turbine blades, very high-tech stuff. It's an amazing factory. Afternoon, parcel for you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks.
The island has a long tradition of drawing world-class inventors to its shores. Incredibly, the first electric car was made here, the first flying boat, the first hovercraft, and the first British satellite. So no surprise then that it should also lead the way in cutting-edge composites. Vestas has been making wind blades on the island since 2002. And today the manufacture of these incredible 80-metre structures is more technical than ever, as we go behind closed doors to discover the secrets of how they're made.
So there's 3 main stages of production of one of our wind turbine blades. Right now, we're mould side at the first stage of the blade build. The first thing that strikes you is probably the size of the moulds. Wind turbine blades are extremely big, and it's probably not apparent until you're right up next to the mould. The first main process we do is to apply the gel coat. So as we're rolling in the gel coat, there's another team that's coming behind and they're starting to lay in the glass fibre. And then we use atmospheric pressure to push resin through all of the glass fibre and the carbon and fully impregnate the structure. We produce the blades in 2 halves of the mould, and the mould will actually close the 2 halves together and form the actual blade itself. On completion of the cure cycle, the mould will open again, and then we'll break the blade out of the moulds and we'll give birth to another blade there. Once that mould's opening and you can see that another blade, and you know what that means, you know, when that's going to be spinning on a turbine, it's really rewarding.
As the blade production continues in the main hall, in the adjoining building, a team of technicians are developing the next generation of wind blades.
Welcome to Vestas Technology, where we design the wind turbines of the future. And these are the talented engineers and technicians that make it happen. Here at Vestas, we take a blade from concept through to design, development, and ultimately manufacture. The United Kingdom gets 1/4 of its electricity from wind energy, and Vestas is really proud to be part of that success. Modern wind turbines are incredible machines. Our new product can generate enough electricity for 20,000 houses. That's a small town. And that success is made possible by the talented engineers and technicians that we have at Vestas.
Here we are in Hall 2. This is our finishing and painting hall. This is the second part of our blade manufacture. They obviously finish the assembly side of the blade in the mould. It then comes out into our blade park. This blade then has to be rotated. We then move the blade over into the paint element. So this is where we paint our blades. Again, the sheer size of the blade, you can imagine the scale of it. We've got to get these blades painted. So the whole blade has several coats of paint. This is obviously to protect it when it goes out into the elements. It's really rewarding, obviously knowing that we're a part of something generating renewable energy, which is obviously the future.
Here we are at the third and final stage of our journey. And this final process is all about delivery. So we've just seen the blade painted and finished. Once in the blade park, Our next challenge is to move the blade over to the quayside where our transport boat will be waiting. It's a 75-metre barge. It's really cool. It's called Blade Runner 2 and it's the only barge long enough to be able to transport these blades. The barge then casts off and is then escorted by the harbour master down the Medina and into the Solent. So the destination of the blade is just on the other side of the Solent in Forley. From here, the blades are moved to Portsmouth before finally being shipped to the customer at the relevant project sites.
For Vestas Isle of Wight boss James Luter, the boom in green energy is presenting the island with a fantastic opportunity.
We are seeing huge growth within our industry. We're seeing a lot of changes in policies throughout the world, where a lot of governments now are looking to change from a reliance on fossil fuels over to renewables. So therefore for us, we have to really sort of ramp up and develop our products here in order to meet those demands going forward. And we're doing that here on the Isle of Wight, and that's something that we are all hugely proud of.
The island's unique entrepreneurial spirit has always been a big draw for companies looking to relocate here. But now there's an even more compelling reason. Thanks to Cowes-based company WightFibre, the Isle of Wight has an ace up its sleeve, and it's called the Gigabit Island.
The WightFibre Gigabit Island project is a £110 million private sector investment in the island, the largest private sector investment in the island in generations. And it is rolling out the latest technology, full fibre broadband to 99% of premises across the whole island. It is connectivity that is second to none, on a par with what you will find in Singapore, in South Korea, and certainly better than nearly all other broadband networks in the rest of the UK.
At the Merston depot, cables are being loaded onto lorries to be dispatched to the multiple teams that are laying the optic fibre. Not far away in Knighton, the project is nearing completion, as the final remaining fibre cables are installed, connecting residents to the high-speed network.
We're using specialist civil engineering teams who are experts in neighbourhood safety as well as the cable laying process. It starts with trench digging, then duct laying, fibre blowing and splicing. The process ends with the installation of one of these small tobies outside each home, ready for you to be connected to our full fibre network.
What does that mean for the island? Well, it makes it a better place to work, so working from home is a reality. New businesses, digital businesses especially, the constraint of being well connected is gone. You have as good a connection here in rural areas of the island as you would in central London. In fact, in some cases, a better connection. There is no new technology coming along in the foreseeable future that this network will not be able to cope with.
The amazingly high specification of the WightFibre network is thanks to the full fibre technology being used.
Our ultra-fast solution is all about optical fibre, the latest technology that's made for incredibly fast broadband, rather than the slow old copper cables originally designed for making phone calls. With full fibre technology, WightFibre is creating a future-proof, ultra-fast network that is able to deliver incredible gigabit connections to businesses and households across the Isle of Wight.
I am very proud of what WightFibre has achieved here. We are a small local company. I think for most of my time here, the last 10 years, we had less than 30 employees. We have over 100 employees now, providing state-of-the-art, world-class broadband. And, we really have brought the island into the 21st century, not just into, but ahead. The challenge here is getting the word out. When companies are looking to relocate, top of their list or very high on their list is good connectivity. We have that, but I don't think the rest of the world knows that we have that. So, this isn't just connectivity within the island, this is connectivity to London and to the rest of the world. By deploying a dedicated fibre to every single premise on our network. Capacity really is unlimited, and the future for the island is truly digital.
One of the benefits of the incredible fibre connectivity we have on the Isle of Wight is the growth of Silicon Island as it's become known. If you want to be a tech company, come to the Isle of Wight where you get the lifestyle, the beach and the fresh air, but you can work with some of the best broadband connectivity anywhere in the country.
One business doing exactly that is Yokogawa Marex, the UK arm of a Japanese software company based right here in Cowes. And thanks to their WightFibre connectivity, serving customers around the globe.
We're a software solutions company who develop software for the controlling and monitoring of oil rigs, refineries, chemical plants, wind farms, anything where there's a process.
As a company that's based in Cowes on the Isle of Wight, has a real local feel, really part of the local environment and local community, but equally so, we've got a global reach.
And that's a brilliant thing because you're exposed to multiple different businesses around the world that are all working together in order to produce something collectively.
I'd like us to be seen as a high-tech organisation, something that is at the forefront of technology, is pushing the boundaries, working with our customers to come up with new and innovative solutions and invent new ways of working for the future.
It might be hard to imagine how a specialist software company can find the necessary skills for success on the island, and yet they do, attracting international and local talent, as well as nurturing homegrown apprentices.
In an organisation like ours, the biggest asset and the most important thing is our people.
The team at Yokogawa Marex is really a diverse set of people from different cultures, different environments, different backgrounds.
I'm from Spain and I feel like I'm at home here.
And they have provided us with the backbone for our organisation and its success. Yokogawa Marex has always felt a very close family kind of environment.
You do feel part of a family, you feel part of a team.
I work as an apprentice software developer and I work in a very close-knit team.
The team environment's really, really important and it's something that I'm passionate about.
You feel you can kind of make a difference and everybody has a huge contribution.
Working in a team allows me to progress further and probably faster because I can draw on other people's knowledge and experience.
It's all about the people. The people that I work with are absolute gems.
And it's great fun coming into work every day and talking to my colleagues who I now consider friends.
Alongside the friendly work environment and the fantastic job opportunities, the third and final draw is the great lifestyle.
The location here is unbelievable. It's a mini paradise of an island.
I'm from the island and I'm biased towards the island, but I love it. I travel quite extensively with work, but every time I'm on the boat coming back to the Isle of Wight, I can't wait to get back.
Here we have very good weather.
It has its own little microclimate, so even though you're expecting rain, sometimes you get the best of sunshine.
And because the work schedule that we use, you can balance your personal life and your work life.
So outside of work, there's so many different things that you can do.
There's walking, horse riding, paddleboarding, surfing, kayaking.
You can go cycling. It's a great way to see different parts of the island. I love being able to explore new areas and it gives me a sense of real freedom.
I really like the island because of its beaches. You are surrounded by them.
There's nothing better than running on the beach at low tide down in Ryde. The tide goes out so far that you have a massive flat sand to run on. You have the sound of the ocean and you feel like the whole beach is yours.
It's a great place to live, it's a great place to work.
And you wouldn't believe that just a small place in Cowes has such a major effect around the world.
And Yokogawa Marex is not alone in putting Cowes on the global map. It's now August, and the world's biggest and most famous annual sailing regatta is getting underway, as the town opens its doors to 60,000 spectators and crews for Cowes Week.
Cowes Week is an amazing event.
and the town just buzzes. The yacht clubs are full. I don't know anywhere else like it. The water out here with the tides and the uniqueness of it has made this a prime place to come and enjoy a week's racing. Families, professionals mixed together for what is a superb event.
With more than 500 boats taking part, the busy start line is located off the Royal Yacht Squadron, as it has always been since the event started back in 1826.
Well, we are, of course, incredibly lucky in our location here. Jutting out straight into the Solent. There's no other starting line really to match it, certainly not in the south coast of England or really in the world. And so boats continue to flock here to race off this very, very historic starting and finishing line. Cowes Week has been in being now for almost 200 years. This is partly because this is such a fantastic stretch of water to race and sail on. So many people regard this club, the Solent out here, as the spiritual home of yachting as we know it today.
Individual recall. Cowes Week has done a lot over the years to establish the island and its international notoriety. And now we have so many people that come to it. So Cowes Week has played its part of establishing something special. It grabs you, it draws you in. And that brings the general public into the sport, which again is a very important thing. And it really boosts the town. And for that week, it is a very different place and a very special place to be.
One lifestyle shop on the high street is reaping the rewards from the busy town. Owners Jacques Rebour and Mark Thompson have joined the ranks of the many others who have moved to the island to start businesses here.
The Isle of Wight has the highest number of start-up micro-businesses across the entire chamber network in the country by a mile. This is the place entrepreneurs come to, and you feel that right across our community. This is the place to start up a business.
Mark and Jack made the move to the island 3 years ago.
When the pandemic started, it was a big change for us as our careers ended in the cruise industry, and then decided, okay, let's downsize, sell the house and look for a new project. And we're fortunate that Spence Willard helped us with that.
Spence Willard are estate agents with offices across the Isle of Wight. And they're seeing a growing trend of buyers gravitating to the island in search of a lifestyle change.
At Spence Willard, whilst our role is marketing properties, really we see a need to market the Isle of Wight and its lifestyle to widen that understanding across the country and further afield of what we have on offer here. We were delighted to help Mark and Jack with their search, and they found a property here in Cowes, and since then it's been a great success story. They've established their business here, and they're really epitomised the varied mix of people looking to move here post-pandemic. Entrepreneurial individuals, families, etc., who saw the special qualities of the island, are generally looking for that change of lifestyle.
Over in the West Wight, Jenny Stewart is another Spence Willard customer who has fallen for the irresistible charm of the island.
We moved here because we just wanted this lifestyle change. We were living and working near London, and we just wanted to come and be outside, be near the beach. And when we arrived here, we just loved the vibe of the island and what it was all about.
Definitely during the pandemic, there was a spike in people wanting to move to the island. Remote working obviously assisted with that and continues to be a really important factor, where people that previously worked either in London, internationally or elsewhere in the country could come to the island and really enjoy what it has to offer.
And from the west to Bembridge in the east, where Annika and Rich de Carpentier chose to move to the island to raise their kids.
I've been playing professional rugby for 12 years, and when I retired, my wife has brought me back to the Isle of Wight. That's where she's from.
The reason we moved back to the island is because obviously with Rich retiring from rugby, we've got 2 young children and we wanted them to grow up by the sea.
It's the profile of buyers, so many more younger families, professionals, people that have cared about their work-life balance and really readjusting their lifestyles, seeing the opportunities that they could live a very different life, enjoying the qualities of what the island has to offer whilst also being close to London.
And as people move to the island, so a plethora of new businesses are springing up. From interior design to coffee, location scouting to yoga.
It's not a place where you really come to find a 9-to-5 job, so people tend to set up their own businesses. So you get that entrepreneurial kind of spirit in people, trying out different things, seeing what works, and it made it a great place to set up my own kind of full-time yoga business.
Post-rugby career turned into an idea for a coffee shop in Bembridge.
I think, again, perhaps these people moving to the island make the effort to change their lifestyle. It's a big thing to move your family here, but actually once they've done that, they embrace the island lifestyle and they care about the island, making a positive change, and sustainability. Many of the new businesses here have a real focus on sustainability as well. So all of those really reflect quite a significant shift of individuals, families that are now here and contributing to island life.
We've just fallen in love with the island and the community here. You can work from home and you can have access to the countryside, the coast, and all these wonderful things on your doorstep. And having the freedom to be able to choose to do that is what's really made this place really special.
I can't thank the team at Spence Willard enough for giving us the opportunity to be here and be in this amazing house in an amazing village. I'm ready for the future, basically. Yeah, really excited.
We're very pleased. After so many years of traveling, we finally feel settled after years of searching for that perfect place.
We're very fortunate, we love it here, and this is where it's going to continue to be our home.
With Cows Week now at an end, on the east of the island, another equally as competitive coastal event is just getting underway. The Bembridge Harbour Family Fun Weekend is 3 days of sun, sand and laughter. The event is run by Bembridge Harbour owners Malcolm and Fiona Thorpe. While Malcolm takes care of front of house, welcoming the weekenders into the harbour, Fiona is busy arranging a schedule of competitions designed to test the most ardent of fun lovers.
So, this is the first event of the Saturday of the Bembridge Harbour Family Fun Weekend. We're on the beach, we've got running races, egg and spoon, sack races. We've got a family relay which gets very noisy and very wet and very competitive. It's absolutely a family fun weekend, that's what it's all about. It's about giving people the chance to enjoy time as a family, join in, and the relay race especially. That's a whole family affair because you've got mums, dads, little ones, grandparents, all actually taking part in one event together. So that's quite special, we like that.
Bembridge Harbour is as unique as it is beautiful. A protected safe haven on the northeastern corner of the Isle of Wight that is easily accessible from the Solent. It's the perfect destination for yachts and motorboats.
Bembridge Harbour, it's a jewel in the crown. It's a beautiful place, peace and quiet, and it's a family harbour. It's not a harbour dedicated to yacht racing or anything, it's for the families, and that's what we concentrate on.
Malcolm and Fiona Thorpe bought the harbour back in 2011, and since then have embarked on an intensive programme of modernisation, putting in new pontoons, electrics, Wi-Fi and brand new quayside facilities.
The whole offer that we make to our customers has been elevated big time. We can moor about 600 boats here, one way and the other, from the visiting boats through to the resident boats in the marinas and on the pontoons. We are a business that is 200% customer focused.
We are expecting you. If you could just stand by for me and I'll recall you with your berth instructions.
Today, Bembridge Harbour is a hit with visiting yachts from all along the south coast, as owners are drawn to the unique blend of modern facilities with the old school values of the family fun weekend.
So many of the things that we often do with the children are fiendishly complicated. Like, this is back to basics, this is super simple, and this is lovely, and consequently everyone is enjoying themselves. And we've got the weather as well, like what's not to like?
That is amazing. Absolutely amazing. It's so lovely to have a weekend of no screens.
No Nintendos or Xboxes, so we're happy. Safety, kids in their natural habitat.
Fantastic.
Really great.
We're going to come every year.
I'm having fun.
It's fabulous.
The harbour office, all in town, built.
Malcolm and Fiona Thorpe have put Bembridge Harbour back on the map, and its commercial success has also been a lifeline for the many other businesses that rely on it for their livelihoods.
The community, both from St Helens and Bembridge, are very, very important to us. They want us to provide them with a working harbour. As far as my own feelings are concerned, and I think they're the same for Fiona, we're proud of what we've done. It's all adding together into a really nice internal community. At the end of the day, the business now is very secure and is in a good place.
Adjoining Bembridge Harbour is an area of land known as St Helens Dover. Looked after by the National Trust, it's a haven for wildlife, where species such as the wasp spider and beewolf can be found. But it's on the other side of the island where one of nature's great spectacles is taking place.
This pristine chalk grassland on Compton Down is a haven for butterflies, and every few years there's an absolute spectacle when close on 1 million chalk hill blue butterflies emerge from the grass and swarm and mate. The sheer numbers of butterflies is just stunning. As you walk along the downland as the day warms up, it's like walking in a snowstorm of ice blue butterflies.
The spectacle of the chalk hill blue butterflies is just one of many amazing feats of natural beauty that happen on the island, under the care of the National Trust.
We are very lucky to be on the Isle of Wight. For a small island, it packs an absolute punch you couldn't really want for anything else. It's known as a sort of holiday destination, but actually it is much more than that. You can see a little bit of every part of the UK on the Isle of Wight. You've got these fantastic estuarine habitats at Newtown. You've got chalk grasslands. You've got this amazing heritage coastline that wraps around the whole part of the southern and western parts of the Isle of Wight. You've got over half of the Isle of Wight, which is designated as a national landscape. It's got more footpaths per area than any other part of England, which just means you can thoroughly immerse yourself in this landscape, and it's so varied and rich that you will have a fantastic time whilst you're doing it. And that's what makes it amazing to me, and I think thousands of other people that come and experience it. So the National Trust has been around for, I think it's 130 years this year, and it was set up to protect these amazing landscapes and historic properties for the nation forever.
The National Trust's activities span the island from east to west, looking after countryside, nature reserves, historic properties and gardens.
So to help us look after these amazing visitor locations, we have got a fantastic team of volunteers and site managers.
So here we are at Motterston Gardens and Manor. You can see I'm surrounded by colour in the most beautiful garden, which goes for around about 6.5 acres. And right behind me, an Elizabethan manor house, just waiting to be discovered.
Bembridge Windmill is an iconic Isle of Wight landmark and the last surviving windmill here on the Isle of Wight. Built about 300 years ago from local stone, it's a fascinating place to visit.
If you visit the old battery, you just have a very unique experience. We're obviously set in beautiful headlands, and then we've also got history where you can actually be in a building that's stood here for 160 years.
These National Trust properties are set in the most amazing countryside, looked after by a really amazing team of countryside rangers who are absolutely brimming with knowledge and experience and passion for these sites.
This is Brook Down, and from here you can get some spectacular views of the rest of the island. Looking to the north, you've got the Solent, and then to the west, the iconic cliffs of Tennyson Down, and to the east, you've got Motterston Down, and then when you look to the southern point of the Isle of Wight, you've got St Catherine's Point. What a beautiful view.
This is Knowles Farm. For me, one of the most interesting sites on the Isle of Wight, full of active landslips, and within those landslips, loads and loads of wildlife. Chalk and green sand, littered with downland plants.
One of those places that really captures my breath is Newtown. It's everything from the creek to the historic medieval village, the wildflower meadows that sit up behind the village. They are just astounding.
Unlike many harbours on this Solent shore, Newtown is practically unspoilt and undeveloped. And because it's tidal, it's constantly changing. And it's very swallows and Amazons in places. And because it isn't particularly developed from a boating point of view, it's extremely quiet for much of the year.
I think for me and for many people, this place is special because of the peace that you experience here. The National Trust have been looking after Newtown National Nature Reserve since the 1960s. It's naturally a beautiful place. It's also a very delicate set of habitats, which presents us with quite a challenge in protecting the wildlife that lives here. The National Trust is all about balancing people and places. We've got amazing places for people to enjoy, and if you enjoy them and experience them, then you're more likely to understand what makes them tick.
So that classic quote from David Attenborough, that no one will protect what they don't care about, and no one will care about what they haven't experienced, is so true. And the National Trust's responsibility is really to make sure that people have experienced those places and have had a really fantastic experience whilst they're there, and then they will care for and help protect those environments into the future.
The theme of conservation and protecting the Isle of Wight's precious environment is shared by many across the island, including property developer Christopher Scott.
The Isle of Wight is something very special to me. I've been here and worked and lived over here for over 40 years. I think we've got to appreciate that the island has become a very dynamic place to work and live. We've seen a growth of businesses bringing new skills, bringing new forms of jobs to the Isle of Wight. And I think that's very, very exciting. With this increase in people wanting to come to live here, there's a great pressure for new housing right across the board, right across the island. Yeah, this is a challenge for us as developers. We don't want to destroy the very thing that's made it so special. We need to adopt a different approach.
To meet this challenge, Christopher Scott's Element Housing has partnered with a building company and a timber frame supplier to pioneer a new approach that's better for the environment and the community.
This new collaboration is based around a collective of expertise, and it's called the Construction Collective.
And today is the launch of their first development together.
Yes, today is a very exciting day. It's the completion of this development of Spencer Park in Ryde, overlooking the golf course, something we started planning 4 to 5 years ago, and now it's come to fruition. We've created a community in a lovely, well-established part of Ryde. Very proud.
For the last couple of years, we've been working on a project in Ryde, Spencer Park. Luckily, we've been able to work alongside 2 like-minded groups of people. Sydenham's amazing timber frame structures, and also Element Housing, who were the developer.
Spencer Park is our first development, which is on the outskirts of Ryde, next to Ryde Golf Club. It's a development of 33 houses, where we've tried to create green space. So architecturally, it stands out. It's a classic design that fits in with the local area and the local community. We're trying to build good quality, energy efficient houses that people want to live in.
Increasingly, we're moving towards a much more scientific approach to how we build houses. One of our designers will produce a 3D model of the building. Those elements are then manufactured. When it arrives on site, it's a very, very quick process. A typical 3-bed timber frame house, the dry shell can be on in as little as 5 days. This method of construction not only has environmental benefits, but it also reduces time and therefore costs and labour on site. The beauty of the Construction Collective partnership is that we can all work together and learn from each other's skill sets, which can only benefit the whole process. At the end of the day, we end up with a project that offers the best environmentally friendly solutions at the best cost. This is something we're immensely proud of.
We have got a true caring ethos, and we care about the environment and what happens on the Isle of Wight.
We're not creating huge sites, cramming property in. We're respecting space and landscape, ecology. It's a great place to live.
However, building environmentally friendly cutting-edge homes is not without its challenges.
The new legislation from the government is leading us down a road to a new energy efficient run home. We are the people that are actually going to build it. And to do that, we're going to have to get a new skill set of people coming in to the construction industry. The solution is apprenticeships. We want apprentices that we can mould into what we need to be able to deliver all the skills that are needed on a very detailed, complex building site. And I am 100% sure that the partnership we have will bring the new generation of construction workers into being.
A perfect hinge. Well done.
Thank you.
Good job.
The idea of apprenticeships being a great way to meet the employment needs of a growing economy is picking up pace across the island, and nowhere more so than at the UK's oldest theme park, Blackgang Chine. And with more than 10 million visitors enjoying the attraction since it opened in 1843, there are always hungry mouths to feed. Stuart Cooper and Daniel Biggs head up Blackgang's food and beverage operation.
I really do enjoy my job. I love being in a theme park. I love being around people, and it really makes me smile every day.
Both are in their 30s and both are on apprenticeship courses.
There's a perception amongst people that apprentices are young 17, 18-year-olds, but that's really not the case. I'm 38, I'm doing an apprenticeship. You're never too old to learn new skills.
For the park's director, having apprentices stepping up into management roles is both good for the business and the individuals.
We've got a wide number of team members who are on apprenticeship schemes at the park. They're really important to us because our team really are our most important assets, and we see it as a really good way of investing back into them and helping improve their future prospects, not only within the business, but also for their own personal development as well.
These apprenticeships and many others have been put in place by the expert team at HTP, where its boss Rachel Randall has long been championing apprenticeships as a great way to learn while you earn.
So here on the Isle of Wight, HTP was established 25 years ago. And we saw a gap in the fact that there needed to be opportunities for both our employers and our young people for them to improve themselves. And we either help people who are already in work, who our employers want to improve through management and education and upskilling. And we're also there for young people who think, well, what do I want to do?
And for that, HTP has its own dedicated facility.
Riverbank is our full-time training campus for young people. People who are leaving school, they've got their GCSEs, or maybe some of them may have just missed that grade that they need, and we give them that opportunity. We offer GCSEs, English and Maths, plus vocational subjects. We also build in work experience, which gives them the opportunity to learn and then progress into an apprenticeship.
For many of the students, the college is a springboard into the skilled jobs market, which is exactly what the island needs.
We've got huge opportunities in companies like Vestas in the new energy. We've got all sorts of high-end tech like BAE Systems, GKN, in-flight peripherals. All of them are advertising opportunities for people to have careers and high-end careers on the Isle of Wight.
As summer draws to a close, HTP training manager Lynn Simmons is making one final visit to Blackgang Chine to check on the progress of both Daniel and Stuart, who are nearing the end of their apprenticeship schemes.
With HTP, we do a lot of remote learning, and Lynn, my advisor, makes regular trips over to make sure we're okay, does reviews with us. Summer seasonal workers.
Excellent. Is that been working?
With all coursework passed, Stuart and Daniel can now graduate alongside all of the other successful HTP apprentices.
We are very proud of all of you that you successfully achieved your apprenticeship and you are graduating.
I'm 34, I'm taking up a new direction in my life to learn more, to create more, and I'm enjoying every moment of doing that myself.
By being on the apprenticeship course, I've managed to get the job that I wanted, my dream job. It will open so many doors for me.
This film, seen through the lens of our 10 Wight brand partners, has taken us on an amazing journey of discovery. We've experienced the island's vibrant economy, the events that put it on a global stage, stunning coastal landscapes, and perhaps most importantly, its entrepreneurial business community. For a small island, it is quite simply world-class. The secret is out. The Isle of Wight is fast becoming one of the UK's top locations to live, work, and play.
People come to the Isle of Wight because of the beaches, the fresh air, the walks, the cycling. They can have a lifestyle which they can't have anywhere else. So people are starting to realise that. They're thinking, well, I could do that too. The secret's out the bag, and I think it's just the start. So I really think that the move to the island of fabulous intellect and fabulous innovation is only going to go bigger and bigger and grow faster and faster, because why be anywhere else? On the island, there's an opportunity for everybody.